Hi, my name is Alex Keene, and I'm going to be your seventh grade English language arts teacher this year. I want to spend a few minutes talking about me, the course, what you're going to need to be successful, and how to get in touch with me. Here we go. First off, again, I'm Mr. Keene, Alex Keene, and I am a ninth year teacher this year. I've had the good fortune of being able to teach every grade from 6 all the way up to 12 at different points in my career, and I'm super excited to be coming back to seventh grade again this year. Um, I moved to Whitewater last year. It's my second year teaching here. And before that, I was teaching up in Philadelphia. I've really enjoyed getting to know the Charlotte area over the last couple of months, even though a lot of that time was spent in quarantine, so I didn't get to know as much of Charlotte as I would have liked. If you have suggestions for things I should check out once it's safe to go back out, please let me know. I would love to hear your suggestions. Some of my hobbies include scuba diving, although I haven't been able to go in a real long time. Um, I've been diving in the Florida Keys and the U.S. Virgin Islands and Hawaii once or twice, but most of the time it's like in an old quarry that they filled up with water, and that's not nearly as much fun, but it is most of my diving. Um, I also enjoy volunteering as a coordinator for a challenge course, like a ropes course up in the air, like obstacles and things while kids are like 30 feet up. I love doing that because it is an opportunity for me to help people figure out that the things that we think are like absolutely locked in as insurmountable obstacles are oftentimes just stuff in our heads. It's really fun watching people figure that out, and it's also one of the reasons why I teach. One of my more recent hobbies is I've been getting back into video games. I haven't played anything in probably like 10 or 15 years, but during quarantine, I picked up ESO because it has a really cool story, and I'm a sucker for stories. Um, I hope this year that I'll be able to help you understand the way that we, all people, use stories to help us understand who we are, like ourselves, but also how we use them to influence the world and the people around us. That's really important to me. And I hope that by the end of the year, it will be important to you too. So our year this year is going to be broke up into three 12-week modules. We're going to be focusing on one book and some other short stories that go with it. For 12 weeks at a time. The first module is going to be focusing on the lost children of the Sudan with a book called A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. Um, that module is going to focus on the effects of the civil war in Sudan, which is a country in Africa. The effects of that war on the young people who were living there and who were made homeless and refugees and orphans during the course of the war, and how a lot of those people grew up to impact their country and their communities and the world in a really cool way. I think you're going to like that unit. The second unit is going to focus on the Harlem Renaissance with a novel called One Last Word by Nikki Grimes. Nikki Grimes is a name you might be familiar with. She's a famous Black poet. And the Harlem Renaissance is a period in history where Black people, were exploring what it means to be a Black creative person in the United States. It was the beginning of what became known as the Black Arts Movement in America. And it's really exciting, a lot of fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy seeing some of how culture has evolved in the United States over the past couple of decades. The final module for the year is going to be focusing on plastic pollution with a novel called Trash Vortex. We're going to be focusing a little bit on how, you know, we impact our oceans and the environment through our consumption and our waste, and how those things reflect back into our lives. So, in broad strokes, we're going to start off talking about who we are as individuals, then how our communities define ourselves, and then finally our impact on the world and how that reflects back on us. Um, in order to be successful as we go through those modules, you're going to need some things. First, you're going to need pencils or pens. I don't care what you write with, as long as you have something you can write with. A notebook for taking notes. That should be not loose leaf paper. It shouldn't be a tablet. It should be like an actual notebook. Spiral bound is fine. A fancy composition book is fine too. Anything that will hold up throughout the course of the year will work out just fine. You're also going to need an independent reading book. I'll have some more information on that later, but to start with, it should be something that is roughly on your reading level and something that you haven't read before, although it's okay if it's something that you've been reading and just haven't finished yet. Um, you're also going to need every single day your ELA workbook, which you will pick up from the school. There should be information somewhere else on this website about how to do that and when to do that, but it should be this week if you haven't picked it up already. You will also need your Chromebook. I know that everybody got an iPad last year so that they could do work, but you may remember that some of the things we tried to do on the iPads didn't work quite right because they were set up for desktop computers. So it is important that you pick up a Chromebook when you grab your ELA workbook if you haven't done that already. Finally, you're going to need a copy of each of the 3 novels that we have. Every student will be given a digital copy that they can access online, so you don't have to buy a copy unless you want to. However, if you are able to buy a copy this year, I strongly suggest that you do, because it will make a lot of the work we're trying to do a little bit simpler if you can write in it, if you can put post-it notes in it, and if you can just have it on your desk while I have my video playing up on the screen. That way you don't have to try and split screen stuff. It'll be a little bit simpler. But if you can't buy a copy right now, that's totally okay. There are links to each of them on Amazon here on the screen. Please feel free to pause this screen and look them up if you need to. Like I said earlier, we'll be doing each novel for about 12 weeks, so you really only need to get a copy of the first one if you're planning on buying copies right now. You can buy the other 2 later on if you want. And again, if you don't want to buy a copy or you can't afford a copy right now, that's totally okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about attitudes for success, the things you need to do to be a successful remote learner. Basically, you just have to be engaged, which of course is an acronym because I'm a teacher and that's what we do. Engage stands for having an environment for learning, nodding your head, like being able to nod your head, like having your webcam turned on, accepting that remote learning is going to be a group responsibility. We're all going to be responsible to each other for our individual success. We're going to ask questions when we need to. We're going to give it our best as long as we can, as hard as we can every day. And we're going to have our eyes on the screen, and preferably like this screen and not this screen. The one of these that I really want you to think about right now is the environment for learning. It's important that you set up a space in your home that's dedicated just to doing schoolwork, not to sleeping or eating or playing games, but that's specifically for doing schoolwork. We'll talk about why that works later on, but for now, trust me that it's in your brain's best interest. Finally, I have some communication information for you here. You'll find my email address on the first line there. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Students, you can also find my email address by going into Canvas, and you can just email me right from there. If you are an adult or like an older sibling maybe that's helping out a younger sibling with their homework, please feel free to contact me via cell phone. Students, please don't reach out to me that way. That's just for the adults. Adults, if you do choose to reach out via text message or phone, please do know that that's a work phone number that only sends me notifications during work hours from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday. I will get your message when I get back to work the next day if I don't answer your call then. Please also note that if I have a class, I can't respond to your message while I'm in class. If you haven't signed up for Parent Square yet, you should be getting that information very soon from your child's homeroom teacher. Please do that as soon as possible because that will be the primary way that we communicate back and forth this year. Finally, I will have a YouTube video for pretty much everything we're going to do this year. Weekly videos saying what's going on, videos of me doing the schoolwork so that you can have a model to go off of, all that stuff. Any video that I record that doesn't have students in it will go up on my YouTube channel. It's not a fancy YouTube channel, it's just teaching videos. So please feel free to subscribe to that if you'd like. I don't make any money on it because I'm not monetized because I'm not a YouTuber. But if you would like to subscribe there, you can. Parents, that's a great way for you to keep on top of what students are supposed to be doing and what their work is supposed to look like. If you have any questions, I look forward to seeing you during the virtual open house or through one of these contact methods. Students, I'm really looking forward to working with you this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the 17th and one day, hopefully very soon, in person too. Until then, be well, do good, and stay safe.